The mother of James Bulger has slammed the 40-month sentence given to her son's killer after he was caught with a catalog of child sex images and the so-called pedophile's manual. Venables, who murdered James in 1993, was found to be a continued high-risk to children after he was caught with sickening pictures of youngsters as young as 2 being sexually abused. It is the second time Venables has been caught with child abuse material since he was freed from custody for James' murder. But he was kept anonymous on the court list after judges ruled his new identities still cannot be revealed. James's mother Denise Fergus, who attended the hearing along with James's father Ralph Bulger, branded the sentence a farce. Her spokesman said the hearing this morning was an horrendous ordeal for Denise. Having to listen to the vile and disgusting behavior that Venables has engaged in yet again, the length of the sentence is too short. He will be leaving the court today believing he has got away with it. Venables, referred to only as AB, admitted having 392 Category A images, 148 Category B and 630 Category C pictures. The images were of children mainly aged between 6 and 13. Although some were younger, he also pleaded guilty to having a jazz guy pedophile manual, described by prosecutor Louis Mablik QC as a disgusting and sickening document which falls far below any recognizable standard of morality. The manual, which claimed to show how to have sex with children safely, contained images of children as young as 2. The court heard that. As he was being taken to a police station, Venables said, "This is my own fault. I have let people down again. I have had stupid urges, inquisitive. I'm not going to be seeing this for a lot of years. It's not going to be a slap on the wrist for me." In a police interview, he admitted downloading the material from the dark web. Probation experts found Venables has a long-term and profound interest in children and is a high risk of real harm to children in the future. Sentencing Venables. Mr. Justice Adistall John Venables told him it was a unique case. He said, "This case is unique because when you were 10 years old you took part in the brutal murder and torture of James Bulger. That was a crime which revolted the nation and which continues to do so even after the 25 years that has passed since it happened. The facts of what you did are notorious and there is no need for me to repeat them here." He said the images of abuse he downloaded were heartbreaking for any ordinary person to see this kind of material. Given his background, it was significant that a number of the images were of crimes against young boys, the judge said. The judge said of the manual, "This is a vile document which gives detailed instructions on how to have sex with small children. As it puts it, safely." The use of that word in that document reveals the cynical brutality of its author. Chris Johnson, chairman of the James Bulger Memorial Trust, read a statement outside the Old Bailey on behalf of Denise after Venables' sentencing. He said, "On behalf of Denise, I would like to say that sitting through the hearing this morning was an horrendous ordeal. For Denise, having to listen to the vile and disgusting behavior that Venables has engaged in yet again. The length of the sentence is too short. This is a farce. This is reoffending. There is a pattern to this behavior. We believe he should have got at least double the original sentence for a similar offense 2 years ago. He will be leaving the court today believing he has got away with it. 3 years and 4 months means that he will be eligible for parole in less than 2 years. Turning to the question of parole, we heard in the court that Venables actually breached his parole terms in 2015, gaining access to the internet. However, we also heard that this was covered up and this was dealt with by way of police caution rather than him being brought back for a breach of his parole, which is what we believe should have happened. We believe that that is fundamentally wrong and is also part of the pattern of collusion between authorities and Venables, and highlights the need for a public inquiry into the handling of the case, which is something we are currently calling for. Thinking to the future, if Venables is ever paroled, then we think the handling of that parole needs to be entirely unique because of the unique handling of this case. There should be no further collusion or attempts to cover up his offending behavior. If he is ever parole again, he must be kept on a very tight leash. Finally, to hear his counsel say in one breath that Venables was only 10 feet when he carried out the horrendous murder of James, and then to go on to apologize or offer some kind of apology about the harm injured that his re-offending has caused, is simply rubbing salt in the wounds. It is an apology that Denise does not accept. Thank you, we have got nothing more to say. The judge said the offenses committed while on license showed Venables is a manipulative and dishonest man. He added, your offenses went back some months and required some ingenuity to keep it hidden. Mr. Justice has made Venables the subject of an indefinite sexual harm prevention order and ordered that his laptop be taken away. He said the parole board would decide when Venables would be released. Earlier, the judge declined a request to delay sentencing so Mr. Bulger could make a victim impact statement, saying, I know the impact on these two people of what happened when their child was killed. I know already how it must be for them when that tragic event is once more brought into the public domain, into court and so on. Because of the offending of one of the killers, Venables and his friend Robert Thompson tortured and killed 2-year-old James in Liverpool in 1993 when they were both aged 10. After serving 8-year sentences, they were granted lifelong anonymity that saw them released under new identities in 2001. It is the second time Venables has been recalled to prison over child abuse images. In 2010, he was sent back to jail for 2 years after pleading guilty to charges of downloading and distributing child pornography. He had breached his license twice before. He was previously prosecuted for possessing child sex images. In September 2008, he was arrested on suspicion of a fray after a drunken brawl and was given a formal warning by the probation service. Later the same year, he was cautioned for possession of cocaine after he was found with a small amount of the Class A drug. Venables and Robert Thompson were 10 when they abducted 2-year-old James from the Bootle Strand shopping mall in Liverpool and subjected him to acts of horrific violence. The toddler's body was discovered on a freight railway line 200 yards from Walton Lane Police Station, Liverpool, more than 2 miles from the Strand shopping centre. Today's case came as James Bulger's mother slammed Channel 4's documentary, accused of showing too much sympathy with his killers. Viewers said interviews with Dominic Lloyd, who defended Thompson during the original trial, and journalist Blake Morrison were too sympathetic to the killers. After the documentary, Mrs. Fergus tweeted, just to let you know that even though footage was used of me on the Channel 4 program, I had no part in it. My documentary is on Thursday on ITV with Sir Trevor MacDonald. Fergus discusses her attempts to find justice and learning to forgive herself in an emotional interview with Trevor MacDonald in ITV's James Bulger, A Mother's Story, a documentary to mark the 25th anniversary of the toddler's death. 1993, 1994, 1997, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2008, 2010, 2013, 2017, 2018.
Where the freaks at?